Oh
You
Lord, he
too.
called me.
Welcome back to the heart of a family. Man, what's going on in this world, y'all?
I know.
First it was when I
Pure
first
craziness.
is I don't know what was first this year, but yesterday we went over um the subway.
It's another video out there too where it's audio. And so now I don't know if it's his voice because it's AI out there. But he was like, I got that white girl or something like that. And then it was other people. Now the people closest to her, I think they were stunned and shocked and numb. But one video showed like right after he did it, she turned up and like looked at him. Um, I don't even really think she knew probably at the time she got stabbed.
No, she
And
didn't
then
know.
she
'Cause She
looked
she
up
just
at
she just passed out.
she looked up at him and she was and her look was of course fear and like what is going on? And then she eventually collapsed.
Yeah, I know, it's odd.
That's sad. And then you see where that one conservative guy got shot on the campus. What university was that?
Utah.
Yeah.
And I thought so it was weird because so he goes to campuses and debates with people. And
Wasn't today's about gun violence
I guess
or
so.
guns?
I was about to say that, but so people say some people say he's the main reason why the youth voted for Trump. And so on the line of questioning, they ask him how many transgenders were involved in mass shootings or how many mass shootings were it was just like a series of questions about mass shootings. And then he answers ones about gang violence, and then bang. Listen. When I saw the video, I was like, oh, it has to be professional hit. It has to be. Listen. You only fired one shot in a hey, he was crowded with people.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
and then and then it's obviously they targeted him because of that one shot. But then you knew he was gonna be there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's just
Yep.
sad though.
Yep. That's crazy.
Mm, mm, mm.
And Trump is calling for the death penalty of the guy on the subway. And I'm pretty sure he'll be calling for the death penalty of this that conservative
I
getting
would
shot.
too. I would
Well,
too.
so
Then what else happened? Uh, you remember that rapper I told you about where he unalived his two friends allegedly in a car?
mm-mm. The
Oh,
rapper?
I told you about it. But so he's been locked up. They haven't convicted him yet because they had a mistrial the first time. And his co-defendant or whatever, his friend that was the driver, he was supposed to go to trial, I think Monday, but the state came with a deal. And so they charged him with the exact same stuff that the guy allegedly that did it. So he was getting two capital murders,
Mm,
accessory, and something else. And then,
mm.
but all those something else, because of the capital murder, they carry life. So he had like 4 or 5 life sentences. Why the state offer him a plea deal of 16 years?
Why? So he can snitch or what? I mean, is
Remember,
it more people
remember,
that got him?
remember I
Is
asked
it
you the
more?
other night, I was like, so if they come to you and you fighting life sentences, 5 life sentences, and they say, hey, we'll give you 16 years, are you taking it? and you was like, "Oh, don't do nothing around me, this and that." But
Shit, I for what? I'm not fixing to sit in jail till they offer me the plea deal. I'm offering it. I'm taking it right off the bat. So again, anybody commit a crime around me, I'm telling.
so
Cause how long he been sitting in there?
I think like 5 years, something like that.
See,
But so he
I ain't
has to
sitting 5 minutes.
he has to do a proffer.
I ain't sitting 5 minutes. I'm telling.
You hear me?
He has to do a what?
A proffer agreement.
What's that?
So since they dropped the two charges and he pleaded no contest to the other ones, like accessory after the fact and tampering with whatever, he has to talk about those two
What happened?
one, yeah, around those two charges. So you
Mm,
already, so everybody thinks like, oh, he's gonna tell. Well, he kind of has to. Otherwise, if you don't, that's the point of the agreement. If you don't, and they find out you're lying,
they take it off the table.
you automatically get the max sentence
Yeah, they
of
take the
whatever
deal
those
off the table.
two charges are. I think it's
Mm,
30 years. But
mm.
they want that rapper.
Wow.
If it happened in, I don't know, 2018.
I ain't no way in the world my butt gonna be sitting in no jail that long waiting on no deal. I'm telling.
And then the rapper's family was in at the hearing for the other person.
When they offered the deal, I bet it was an uproar.
But no, they didn't say anything.
No.
Because they were like, because the lawyer's saying that he doesn't represent snitches. So they're saying they think he's not going to have to testify about whatever, but there's no way you're not going to have to. That's the whole point of the state offering you that deal. There's no way
Yep.
they're going to take 5 life sentences off the table.
And he must got something good. Or either if
No,
it's not,
no, no. Listen, listen. The rapper, they had a mistrial. Remember how you said if one person flipped? Well,
yeah.
they have one person flip. All the
But
evidence points to him. But one
so
person
they
flipped
doing
in the
the
jury
they
and they
so
had a
are they offering the
mistrial, and
uh-huh.
his trial keeps getting pushed back. In the meantime, his co-defendant, the driver, was supposed to go to trial, but state's not wanting that because if he goes to trial before the rapper, they get to see all the evidence.
Oh, okay. So
But
they
because
oh, okay.
look, they don't have a murder weapon. Uh, like it's crazy. Like everything points to him. They just can't exactly prove it.
Mm-hmm. It'll
So
be
they
a
needed, yeah.
circumstantial case pretty much.
I mean, it's a lot. It points to him. They
I
went
mean,
to
the
some
people are found guilty on circumstantial. It's just a risk that the attorneys, I mean, the DA and the prosecutors take to take it to trial and see, or they hold out until they either get
like
hardcore
for
evidence,
that
or either they offer them a plea deal to avoid taking an L on a case.
because I saw a video earlier that broke it down. That one dude that we watched. Oh, yeah, we don't have to speed through it though. I ain't watching all. Because it's crazy. Why they wait this long though?
Mhm. That system is jacked up.
They wait this long to. I mean, obviously, I mean, I assume to just get money out of them.
Yeah.
But dang, this long to offer a plea?
And it was another school shooting,
Where?
Colorado, in a high school.
Any casualties?
Mm, let me see. It don't say. Two boys got shot, and including the shooter.
Listen, I I understand
They're in
why.
critical condition now. In critical condition, they non-life threatening
I under,
injuries.
I understand why we don't do like virtual, like for good permanently, but it's kind of getting to that point where like when is enough enough?
And I know. Did you see that article or that video I put in the chat where some kid got told on and that they went and I guess searched the home and he had all these guns and ammunition and he was plotting to do something. Did you see that? They had all the guns and stuff laid out on the table and I had put in the chat, I was like, really? How did a 13 or 15-year-old get all of these?
Oh yeah, yeah, I read that one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that
I said, that is crazy.
my first guesses are some Reddit page, um, some um black web stuff. I don't know. Some communication line they have, or maybe the he was just different.
But yeah, it says police arrested a 13-year-old in Washington state who had everything ready to go for a mass shooting on these two tables.
Questioning the parents.
It's
Why
about 15, 20. These are like army rifle style guns.
are the
And then
parents involved?
yeah, that's the thing. It says authorities found 23 firearms along with ammunition when they arrested a 13-year-old boy. He was accused of making threats to kill. They unalive. He found he had everything ready to go to commit a mass shooting, including a trove of more than 20 guns in the home.
Mm-mm-mm.
They said they found a collection of 23 firearms, several boxes of ammunition, loaded magazines with school shooter writings on them, as well as clothing and writings typical to a mass shooting scenario. And then guns had no serial numbers and some appeared 3D printed.
Wow.
And then it says some firearms were mounted on the walls, fully accessible, while others were spread around the home.
Wow.
hmm that he had like a that looked like when you walk into a gun store and you know how they have all the guns in the cases with the glass. That's how all them guns look
Yeah.
like he was selling them. Now, how a 13-year-old get access and even the means to purchase. I get dark web and all of that, but he got to be using his mama credit card, daddy credit card, or something. He ain't working. 13, he ain't working.
I don't know. That's why I think they involved. Ain't no way you ain't noticed. You ain't have no
And then if they're
with
all
that
through the
much
house,
ammunition, that much
yeah,
firepower. Ain't no, there has to been signs, something.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, let's see. Let's get into this video.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, you can't.
Mm-mm.
All right, hold on.
Arrested, I believe late 2018, maybe early turn.
Now
Hold
I
on,
can.
2018. I'll confirm now. When was YNW Melly arrested? He was arrested February 2018. The murder allegedly happened in 2018. To put this in perspective, I'm going to go over everything. And I just follow me sequentially. I'm going to make it really simple. YNW Melly is accused of murdering his two close friends. His friends he sang on a hit song. He sang about a hit song called Butter Pecan. He says, I'm with Sack and Juvie. Okay? YNW Sack Chaser, YNW Juvie. Okay? They all were in a studio. They get in a car. In the front driver position was YNW Bortlen. In the right passenger, front passenger, and the back, what do you call it again? The back right passenger were Sack Chaser and Juvie. According to prosecutors, Melly was seated behind the driver. On video, he's captured getting into the car behind the driver. What police knew afterwards is that Bortlen, the driver, showed up to the hospital with two dead bodies. The bodies of the guy in the right front seat and the back right seat. It became and was alleged by the police that Melly, at some point during the drive, took out a gun, shot the guy in the right passenger front seat, and shot the guy to the right of him. The bullets that went forward, it's almost alleged that these guys were either sleeping or something of the sort. It was a late night. They were leaving the studio. He even shot through the seat multiple times, and there was no defense wounds to be like, stop. You get me? It was that quick. Bang, 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 bang. That quick. When Bortlen shows up to the hospital, Melly's not in the car. They started an investigation. The police asked what happened. There's actually gruesome video of them taking the bodies out of the car. By the way, by the time they got to the police station, it was corpses. They weren't fighting for their life. They were dead. The police asked him what happened. He says, and that's Bortlen they asked. I'll show you Bortlen on the screen. This is.
So you following along?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now this guy is the driver. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Him in current day. He said, I was driving and someone pulled up and shot at us. Sounded like a drive-by. My friends got killed. The police obviously realized that now it's a crime scene. They quarantined the car. He's not hit. They asked him if he's hit. The doctors check him out real quick. He's not hit. They ask him, what happened? He said, we got shot at. The detectives, so the police is there. They call over detectives who's working that shift. They come over. Crime scene's hot. The car's a crime scene. They tape it around. And they said, where did you get shot? Because we can find more evidence. Who did this? He says, I don't know. He says, what do you know? He says, well, a car just pulled up and shot at us. The cop says, I know this is distraught. You're distraught, but we got to figure out some stuff. He seems calm enough to help them. And they say, will you show us where you got shot at? He says, yes. He got in the car, the cop car, front seat with the cop, and the cop drove to a location where he claimed the shooting happened. They mark the spot. They bring him back to the hospital. They bring him to the interrogation room, but they start canvassing the spot. They can't find anything that showed there was a shooting there. No broken glass, no spent shells. They can't find any evidence. That becomes suspicious. It also becomes suspicious with certain things with his demeanor. They figure something is up. What later happened is they realized a few things. When they asked where were y'all originating from, it became obvious, talking to multiple people in him, they came from a studio. They got the surveillance footage of the studio. 4 people entered like an SUV, but only 3 individuals showed up to the hospital. Where's the 4th? The 4th is Melly. Him about Melly, he was very we dropped him off where somebody just picked him up. He was very vague. At some point, Melly.
How they gonna drive by and shoot and ain't no glass was broken? Ain't no bullets in the doors of the car, the body of the
Oh, wait, wait,
car.
wait, wait, wait. Hold on. Hold on. Slow down now. Slow down. You getting ahead of yourself.
No, I'm not.
But just how you go from I don't know to like we dropped them off, right? To now, 5, 6 years later, I'm gonna take a plea deal. Why did you wait all that time?
Cause he was trying not to take a deal and was thinking probably they would get off some way or some way get off, or either they wouldn't get all those charges and wouldn't be facing all that time.
What?
Some of these criminals and people like that, they don't think. They think, oh, I'm a rapper, oh, I got money, can get an attorney, don't matter what the crime is, I can get off. Or get in jail, maybe get hit with second degree or whatever murder, get 20, maybe serve 10, 15, and then get out or something like that. They don't think like we be thinking.
But I'm gonna speed this up a little bit faster. We're almost done with the video. So
Melly had gotten out of the car and then supposedly went home. Melly made some phone calls to a girlfriend, which allegedly the cops felt like they had confessed to the girlfriend that, oh, so-and-so happened. Anyway, and I know I'm walking you through this really gingerly, but I have to explain why these charges are coming and why we're here. Because this has been 7 years in the making. This murder took place in 2018. It's 2025. This is 7 years after the fact, 6 years after the arrest of YNW Melly, and there is no adjudication. Adjudication means that it is not determined by the court, where there's no disposition on the charges. Is it a guilty plea or not guilty plea? A guilty verdict? Is he acquitted? And there has been no plea until today that was taken by any of the defendants. So at first, they want Melly. They believe Melly's the shooter. They take the car in. They realize that there's spent shells in the car. I don't know if you guys know how weapons work. When you shoot a gun, a normal, unless it's like a revolver or something like that, or something that has a spent shell catcher, which usually is most likely AR or Draco or something like that, because you could attach it easier. It looks goofy on a handgun. When you shoot that thing, the bullet usually flies out to the left. Not only to the left, it usually flies out in close proximity of where the shooter would be. They found spent shells in the car. Now that defeated the entire.
Whoa.
I told you, slow down now. But look, stay with me now. Here we go.
Theory that Bortlen told them that they got shot up by another car. If you got shot up by another car, there wouldn't be spent shells in your car unless you fired back. They matched the ballistics, the bullets. They realized that it appears that the bullets that killed these men and the trajectory of how the bullets traveled, it went through the seats, went up in one of the guys, came out here. One of them, I think it went through his chin, whatever. It was determined that bullets were fired in the car, not from someone else. Now, there were some other bullets. There were some bullets that was found in the car that was going into the car, but those, by a pathologist and also the coroner, those were not the fatal bullets. Actually, it was deemed that those bullets were fired after the guys were already dead. What did the cops take from this, the detectives?
So, did you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
So, what they're saying is Melly shot them in the car.
Yep.
At some point in time, the car was stopped. They got out, somebody got out
Got
of the
out
car
and shot in the
on the
car.
passenger side and shot into the car. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe if they were just a little bit brighter, they would have did it on the driver's side. Maybe that could have helped them, but they went and did it on the other side. So they're using that against them or him. You see what I'm talking about? Like it's
See,
pointing.
yep, that's crazy.
But yeah, here we go.
They said someone committed murder in the car and then tried to stage a drive-by when the people were already dead. The cops later find where, based on GPS triangulation, because the great thing about this crime, everybody had cell phones in their pocket, including dead people. So they were able to triangulate where that car went at certain points. So they have a location where the shooting or the drive-by took place. That's where Bortlen said. That turned out to not be true based on evidence. And then the car went and stopped at another place. And after that place, that's when it went to the hospital. Actually, it might have been two places because one was a drop-off location for Melly, allegedly, and then the other place was the staging of the spot of the shooting, then the hospital. When they went to the place that they realized it was triangulated to and they stayed there for a while, they found broken glass and debris that was consistent with that car of that color being shot. So it furthered their theory that someone killed their friends, or not killed their friends, but these guys got killed, and someone brought it to somewhere else to do a cover-up to claim it's a drive-by by shooting into a car where people are already dead. Okay. They have GPS, bullet fragments. From my recollection, didn't find the gun, but they have everything else. They pretty much have a solid case on a forensic level, but they lack things on a fundamental level to make this case go. I'll tell you what they lack. I know this might sound like we're quoting the movies here, but in trying to prove murder, especially something that carries life, and in Florida State, premeditated murder, automatic life. Down south, usually premeditated murder, first degree, automatic life, or sometimes it carries the possibility of a death sentence. What that means is that a jury is usually going to look at not only if you did the killing, but they want more than that. Why would you do the killing? So this case lacked motive. To this day, we don't know why the hell would Melly want to kill his friends. We heard out there. Oh, they threatened his mom. Oh, they were going to do something to him because he was robbing them. We've heard so many theories, but none of it makes sense. So the prosecutor's been struggling with why would Melly sporadically, after leaving, didn't look like they were in a fight. Nobody fought. They're not arguing leaving the studio. Why the hell would Melly just randomly murder his two friends? Okay. So they lack a motive. Not only they lack a motive, it becomes a little blurry because everybody else seems to be non-cooperative or is at least leaving an opening for an alibi for Melly to say, hey, it might sound suspect, but by the grace of God, randomly, while we were driving to some undisclosed place, I decided to get out of the car. So it's impossible for me to do the murder. I was in the car. Also, the statement of the guy who brought the dead bodies is that I was in a drive-by. There is bullet entry wounds that came from the other side. So ballistics are pretty sure, but we could argue about that. But how do you put Melly there? You have no video of Melly. The driver isn't telling on Melly. Other people who noticed his behavior or interacted with him at first, afterwards, none of them said, oh, he just...
That is crazy.
Oh, wait. So all that, right? All that triangulation and geometric shit they did. Where did y'all can't go to the spot where he was allegedly dropped off at and ain't no cameras in that area?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's crazy. What are the odds?
And then my thing is maybe he really did drop him off. And he did that, and then like he said, then went to the hospital, and then when he dropped him off and he got out. Well, no, he said dropped him off and then it was the stage drive by.
Listen, but
So
listen, see, look. Now we about to be on some detective shit. Look, look though, because okay, because look, what if, what if, because listen though, because like, did they both stage the drive-by or
yes,
did one?
I think. Well, they need to go back and look at the cell phone thing because if he dropped that whatever his name is off, and then he drove to the second spot, he had to get out, staged the drive by, and then took him to the hospital. So it shouldn't be hard to pinpoint what's that
So,
rapper's name?
so you mean to tell me, wait. So they're driving. He unalives them.
Mm-hmm.
The first stop is to let him out.
Mm-hmm. He probably said, "Man, let me out." But go drive a few blocks away or drive, and then you get out, shoot into the car, then you go to the hospital.
Okay, now the next question is, did they test for gunshot residue?
Yeah,
Because if he had it, that's nail in the coffin. Because you can't
yeah.
get they didn't lock up the other dude for a while, so they couldn't get they couldn't test him.
And they probably didn't test neither one of them from gun, even though they was kind of suspicious of him. They probably didn't test him for gun residue. And then by the time they like, dang, he ain't making no sense, and he's looking more and more suspect. Hell, by that time, all that residue was off, washed off, and all of that. And then the one that got dropped off supposedly, because he had to go somewhere because he wasn't in the car when they got to the hospital. I'm pretty sure wherever he went, he washed his hands and everything else too. Because if it was gun residue, that probably would have been came out by now.
Hold on.
They interviewed the people in the house that were staying because Melly did get back to the house. No one said, oh, he took his clothes off and burned it. They were all kind of, oh, sounds like a mystery, right? Anyway, they did a trial, and the trial came back as a mistrial. Apparently, there was one or more jurors who declined and refused to believe that Melly, beyond a reasonable doubt, killed his friends. Now, usually with a mistrial, on certain circumstances, and for certain type of charges or how heinous the crime is, they might not want to charge you again, or they might not want to try you again. Like, for example, I think if Diddy's thing came to a mistrial, I don't think they would do it again. Different DA, or not DA, but different U.S. attorney, different regime, they wouldn't do it again. They'd probably just, whatever, right? But they could still refile it at any time. So unless something else happens, whatever. The thing with Melly's case is that the idea of a man murdering his two friends sounds so heinous and so disgusting that Florida prosecutors, they've spent a lot of money, time, and energy, but they'll continue to spend more time and money and energy because they feel this is one of the most egregious crimes known to man. You cold-bloodedly murdered your friends sitting 2 feet from you, suspected that they were even sleeping while you put their lights out permanently. They want Melly fried. So they're looking to try him again. Now, one of the things that they're trying to do to try to make their case better this time, because here's the thing, Melly got better lawyers. And since he's gotten the mistrial, you got to remember, certain people who testified then may not want to testify now. Remember, there was a bunch of people who were on vacation for a long time. It's hard for the prosecutor this time around. Evidence, a lot of moving parts that they probably had a better look on the first time. It's harder now. One of the people that didn't take part in this trial initially was this guy named YNW Bortlen. The guy who would know what happened is the driver. Well, he's been elusive the entire time. They were trying to work with him, but he hasn't cracked it. He has not cracked. He's not, no, let me tell you who did it. None of that. They start putting a little pressure on him. They charge him with accessory for murder, hoping that would scare him. He stood 10 toes down. No, let's take it to trial. Now, before we get into the plea, it's very important. And this is very important because we're going to use common sense here. Okay. It's very important to know that if you're charged with accessory to murder and the state can't even convict the guy of murder, they've tried once and they failed. It's impossible to convict you of accessory to murder if they can't even convict the murderer. So let me put it in perspective. YNW Bortlen was not going to testify, help, or whatever. They let him out on bond one time, and then they revoked his bond, and they've had him locked up since. They've been getting frustrated because they need him. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, and some of this is my opinion here, and I'll tell you what my opinion is, and I'll tell you what facts are. My opinion is they realized that the accessory for murder charge didn't scare him. They also put witness tampering on a little bit later. So what they did was they hit him with 2 murder charges, homicide charges. They trumped up their theory of Melly killed his friends to you and Melly killed y'all friends. Now, it differs from their first story they were trying to present. They claim that he was not involved in the murder. He didn't know about it, but he did help to cover it. That's why they gave him accessory after the fact. Recently, they trumped it up to say he is just as culpable for murder, and they gave him 2 murder charges. Now, here's the thing with that. Remember what I said about...
I'll have to continue this later, y'all.
That don't even make bacon now. They endless connections.
Oh man,
They just trying to make a case and win, which I'm pretty sure they know what happened, but they can't prove it.
He's gonna testify now.
I mean, I'm talking about the first trial. They couldn't prove anything.
It don't matter. Like, think about it. We're gonna finish this.